So the classic stereotype is when you see African American, especially boys, is see them in sports and entertainment. So we want those kids to imagine themselves as other things, but we also want the community of people that support those young people to imagine them as something else, to think of him as a future doctor just as quickly as you might think of him to be a future basketball player.
One day, while playing with his children, Matthew Goins could no longer ignore a missing piece.
I bought dozens and dozens of puzzles, and we found a lot of dinosaurs and animals and trains and cars and airplanes, but not a lot of diverse characters. It was just trying to create a fix for my kids in our own living room. I got a pair of scissors and some cardboard and just did what I knew how to do at home. And then I decided that this was worth sharing with other people.
In 2018, Puzzle Huddle was born. It took off, fueled by a nod from Oprah, the pandemic puzzle boom, and a sharpened focus on inclusion.
Why is it important for kids to see themselves?
All you need is small inspirations, I think, can inspire a kid over a lifetime. And when you watch a kid do a puzzle, to some degree, you can watch their brain working. There's some subtle opportunity for them to believe of themselves in the image, like a subconscious interaction that can really embed a message in the kids.
You can't be what you can't see.
Absolutely.
6 years later, Goins' company sells dozens of types of puzzles, featuring multicultural characters, empowering future black and brown ballerinas, scientists, astronauts, and presidents. And now they're expanding.
Anytime, we could just go in his office, find the coloring sheets, take one out, and start coloring.
You guys are pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coloring books and downloadable coloring sheets are inspired by Goins' wife, Marnell, who often colors with their children, 10-year-old Mackenzie, 8-year-old Mitt, and 5-year-old Caleb.
She would go online and just find coloring sheets and print out unicorns and dragons. But as I was observing that, I thought, well, we can add a layer of learning to that. We can add a layer of affirmation and ethnic identity. So I just started to imagine the coloring sheets that I wanted my kids to have.
Everyone in this family shapes the mission in big ways and small. Mackenzie's artwork is featured in this artist puzzle, and all three kids are challenging their dad's idea of diversity.
So their friends are Vietnamese and Lebanese and South Korean and Caribbean and African. So a lot of times they challenge me on the representation that I have in our puzzles to reflect their friendship circle.
Everyone comes from a lot of different cultures and places, so it's good to just accept that they're different and it's good to be different.
The result? This puzzle, Diversity Love. Now, big companies have come calling. Macy's, Target, and most recently, Netflix, to create puzzles based on their Ada Twist animation series. But Goins says his mission will be accomplished when one particular goal comes into focus.
My dream come true will be to one day meet a doctor, scientist, engineer, pilot, astronaut, 20 years from now, and them to tell me that when they were a kid, they had our coloring books and they had our puzzles. It inspired them, played a role in their thinking, and it eventually translated into them becoming a doctor one day.
In Washington, D.C., with the good side, I'm Debra Alfarone.